Right, welcome to Rambling Achieved. Definitely the first intro, and not a secondary one that we just scrapped. Um, Thanks for joining me again, Brandon.
Appreciate you for having me, man.
Yes, so we did just roll through the game of the year predictions. So this will be one of the shorter videos. Um, and funnily enough, that's also tied to the topic, short but sweet.
There you go.
Um,
Look at you. You got the
yeah,
host gene.
getting there. And what kind of spurned this on was I think you said you've been struggling finishing stuff lately, whereas it's been the complete
Big
opposite for
time.
me. But the only reason it's been the complete opposite for me is I've just been knocking out short ass games, like really short games. Sifu, I wrapped up. That was like a 5 hour experience.
You beat
Um,
Sifu in 5 hours?
yeah.
God, dog. On the
How,
on the
how,
normal difficulty?
yeah, how long did it take you? The
Definitely
last
not no
two,
damn
the
five
last two
hours.
bosses, I despised. They were like the fucking the roadblock of the entire playthrough, but everything else was fun.
You are a much better gamer than me, my friend. It's not like it is a shorter game for sure, but
Mm.
I mean, I would assume double that. I would assume it took me 10 at least.
I mean, let me quickly check, but I'm fairly certain it was around about that time. Um, but yeah, because I got to obviously won't spoil anything, but there's the second to last boss was brutal. I was like, wow, that's a big step up in difficulty. And then
Is that the chick?
I mean, there was two females, but yeah, the older woman,
That
that
shit
that
is hard.
that that kind of like threw me for a loop. But I do want to. This isn't on the list, and it isn't making it with Sifu. 4.5 hours it took.
4.5 hours.
Yeah,
That is batshit. And yeah. I mean, I know without a doubt. I guess, well, I don't know. I don't know how I would pull that up. Does it show that on PlayStation?
it should do. But
Uh,
yeah, that final boss
fucking.
when I was talking about in the Discord, I was like, I despised it because it's the thing I hate most is when a game gives you all of these abilities and stuff like that, and then teaches you right, make sure you use them, make sure you use it, and then it disables part of it for the whole fight,
Hmm.
and it's just like what the yeah. Didn't enjoy that, but yeah, did King Arthur's Legion 9. I wasn't gonna jump into that given how long the previous game took, but was looking through how long to beat, and people were putting it at like 10 hours, and it was about 9 hours, and I was like, hell yeah! And
Perfect.
it definitely flows a hell of a lot better. And then I did the Modern Warfare 3 campaign yesterday, which
No.
it's like 3 hours. He wasn't joking in that speech. I thought it was a little bit overblown, and it was just like, wow, that you don't even give an ending either. That's bold.
That was a funny ass speech. Christopher Judge, the was that 2023
Yeah.
game awards where he
Yep.
took a shot at COD. But and dude, I'm in the complete opposite boat. I can't finish anything. I don't know. I mean, with that being said, I finished like fucking I don't know 30 plus games this year, so it's not like
You're
but just
slacking. There you go.
right. It's but it just I guess it's not necessarily that I can't finish anything in totality for the overall year, but in this pocket right now that I'm in,
Yeah.
it's just like I don't know. I a shout out to physical, shout out to Sean Ward. I think that mentality is just kind of the mentality that I'm taking from this point on, where it's like, you know, if it's something that I like, I'll play it until I stop liking it. If it's something that I think is okay, I probably need to stop playing it sooner than something that I like. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of trying to put things down before they wear out their welcome, and just like, hey, I played 4 hours of it. I thought it was pretty cool. I started getting to a point where I was feeling my enjoyment dip, and then you're out. Like, I don't know what is really lost in that process. It's just like there is something that we feel this need to tick off the box of like it's been finished. It's like for fucking what? You know, what could you have done with that time that would have been more valuable to you or to loved ones or to, just whatever, just things that you would have appreciated more in life opposed to playing 20 more hours of a 7 out of 10. It's like I figured out it was a 7 out of 10 from the second hour I played it, and I don't think it was going to get much better if I played 18 more hours. So I think that physical Sean Ward, I think he had that mentality locked. I mean, he was talking about that years ago
Mm.
on the channel where he's like, I'm not fucking playing through this. If I stop enjoying it, I'm out. It's like, yeah, I think that's the healthy mentality to have.
Yeah, yeah, and it's obviously play how you want to play for sure. But it's the thing of like, yeah, when you get into them slumps and you're realizing it, it's probably because it's how I felt with when I was talking about Hellblade 2, uh, Plague Tale 2 as well. I'll probably put in there, and probably Indiana Jones. If I'm being 100% honest, it was kind of just pushing through it for the sake of pushing through it. I didn't really enjoy it all that much. I could respect it for what it is, and that's obviously always the case. You can always respect the art for what it is, but do you really need to push through something that you're not enjoying thoroughly? Probably not.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's the thing where you're probably going to enjoy it a lot more if you don't push through it, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Where like I have been playing or I put down Hell Is Us. I played it for about 3, 4 hours. I was like, this is pretty cool. Combat's not that great. Nothing's like compelling me. Like there's no narrative hook there that I'm interested in, but it's not a bad game. Like it's cool. And I left feeling positive feelings for it. I have no negative association with that game at all. I put it down feeling like this is cool. I don't want to finish it, but it's cool. And I'm kind of feeling that same way right now about Daemon X Machina, the
Mm.
Titanic Scion, where I've put about 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, this is cool. Don't really need to finish it, but it's cool. And I actually might. Like I do like Daemon X Machina more. It's an interesting mech game and like I want to get back into that one. That's one that I still have and like I'm not, I returned Hell is Us. That's something I'm doing as well, where if I'm not finishing it or if it's nothing that I want to continue playing, go ahead and take it back while it still holds some value.
Mm.
And so I flipped Hell is Us into Daemon X Machina, the Titanic Scion, and I'm not taking that one back. Like I that's one I do want to play more of. It's fun. That's a really, really fun video game. But once again, Sopranos is better.
I wanted to pick that last point off before we actually dive into the topic as well. Isn't it kind of funny? Um, Earlier years in gaming and stuff like that really heavily promoted renting games with like
Right.
Blockbuster and stuff, and it seems like that's shunned heavily now with people being very against Game Pass. Like I've seen a lot of negativity towards it of renters, of it like being branded renters and stuff like that. It's like 15 years ago, everybody rented. 20 years ago, everybody rent. Like that didn't harm the industry. It
Bro,
like I don't.
you were spot on.
It's kind of crazy. Like this, I get like because I have that feeling as well. Definitely support the devs that you love. Expedition 33 was on Game Pass. I loved it so much. Went and bought a physical copy. I know like a
Same.
ton of people that do that. It doesn't mean that it forbids you from buying the copy. It just means that you're gonna probably dip into something that I don't really want to spend my money on that, but it's in there. It's like for as an example for this, the Outer Worlds 2. I liked the Outer Worlds one a lot, but this has been a year of just fucking non-stop bombardment. If that wasn't in Game Pass, it would probably end up in the same boat that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is in for me, where it's like I would love to jump into it, but I'm spoiled for choice everywhere else. So I'll get round to it later on, and it benefits me as the player because in the modern age of gaming, things get patched up. The longer you leave it, they add more stuff, and the value will slowly drop, and then I can get it at a cheaper price as well.
Well, and it's like, who cares if it sells better, sells worse, whatever? Like that's the
Mm.
developer or the publisher made the choice to put their game there. Like it's if it doesn't sell particularly well because of Game Pass, you made the decision to go to Game Pass. Nobody held a gun to your head to go to Game Pass. And it's also the thing of like, yes, it's Blockbuster, it's VR, it's handheld. It's like there's always been a thing out there. It's just another thing. It's another way to get funding. And then I have a video that I actually want to make about this, where it just that dude, are we talking about the Deadpool VR game of like it's not going to sell well? They probably would have been better off going and making an actual video game, like an actual console video game, but it was a way for them to get funding to make a video game.
Hmm?
Game Pass is a way for developers to get funding to make a video game. It's not it's not the end of the world. It's just another option. And sure, there's negatives. There's
Yeah.
negatives to every single
Yeah.
fucking option. There's negatives to full price games. There's negatives to $40 games. There's negatives to Blockbuster, VR, handheld, console, PC. Like there's a negative to all of it. And it's also like anywho, yeah. Short games. Short games, Loon had me here today to discuss with him, and I'm going on a 50-minute fucking tirade about
No,
it's
because
just
I
it's
have been
crazy that
wanting
it's
to
the
talk
news.
about it though, so it's absolutely take the floor.
It's just crazy that it's still in the news. Like, why are we still talking about Game Pass even? It's kind of my thing. Where it's like it's not the thing that it's not the Netflix of games. It's not like we're it's you hear all this like it's gonna kill. It's not gonna kill
No,
anything. It
no,
didn't do anything.
it's the thing of like why I tied it to the Blockbuster thing. Blockbuster existing didn't shut down physical sales. Both coexisted in the same way that Game Pass is coexisting with other things. And I'd even go further and like because you've seen it as well, and it the biggest thing it impacts is their own first party stuff because they put it in their day one. That's the only thing that heavily impacts. Everybody else, it's choice. You're choosing to put it on the service.
Mhm.
That they're not saying, "Oh, you can't put it on our platform if it's not in the service."
Well,
Like,
and you chose to sell the studio knowing that your game was going to go to Game Pass.
yeah. So exactly, well, that as well. So they're the only people that are heavily affected. That's why, because I think Pete Hines came out, I believe,
Hmm.
in it recently and kind of threw a few shades that way. And it's just like, yeah, of course, if you're in that bubble and stuff like that, it probably is a lot of infighting with heads higher up of like what's our slice of the pie kind of thing from the Game Pass revenue. I don't know how that's divvied up, but it's it doesn't hinder games either. Like it's crazy. Like Expedition 33 didn't suffer. Hollow Knight sure as shit didn't suffer. Holy crap, the concurrent
Right.
players on PC. It's the thing as well with people being like, well, nobody's going to buy it if it's on Game Pass. I mean, it's been proved time and time again, people will buy stuff, you know? And even on Xbox, Helldivers 2 came out. It's the type of thing of like, people will buy what they want to buy, you know?
And
Helldivers
yeah,
2
and
sold shitloads of copies. I think it's like 2 million now, which a lot of people are like, oh, well, that you put it over there, it's not going to sell more than 200,000 copies.
well, and I mean, there has been time and time again evidence suggesting that less games are sold on Xbox, but it's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
less players are on Xbox, and they do have Game Pass as an option. It's like if you put a Blockbuster 10 miles away from my house, I'm gonna buy less games because there's a Blockbuster close. But like, it's just, it's this is obvious shit, but it's not the end of the world. Be thankful for Game Pass while it's still there because man, I miss Blockbuster.
Mm.
Like, uh, dude, we should all be worried about our best interest, the consumer. And I love fucking supporting developers, obviously. I mean, I most of this shit behind me, I shouldn't say most, a lot of this shit behind me I bought on day one. I want to support the developers. I love video games. Will always have always loved video games, but I also love saving some money. And so like two things can be true simultaneously. And when a copy is anywho, let's fucking talk about short games or I'll be here fucking yapping your ear off until the cows come home.
The short game topic is the longest video topic.
I swear to God.
Okay. Right. So the thought process for this was sub 10 hours, um, most likely. Like, obviously, there can be other stuff. You could probably argue 12 hours and stuff like that. But yeah, the idea was sub 10 hours. And the first one I'm gonna kick it off with, and I don't know if you've played this. I think I've shouted this out a few times, but Black Sad,
I need to check that
Under the
out.
Skin. There's been obviously so many people talking about like, oh, I want The Wolf Among Us 2 to come out. Um, Dude, this, especially with this re-release, I want to say as well, because I booted up, been trying to get footage of loads of different things so that I have my own footage when we're talking about stuff. And I went and
Hmm.
grabbed some footage of that new re-release of Black Sad. It runs so much better. Like that first release was rough
It was.
by Microids. It was just like, look, man, I love what you guys have here, but like it's crashing every 40 minutes. I'm losing progress when it does that. Like it was really, really shaky. Thankfully, this re-release seems to have fixed things up big time, and I hope it sold enough for them to like greenlight a sequel because it's. I think this is based off of a graphic novel, if I'm not mistaken, much like The Wolf Among Us is, and there's plenty of entries in that graphic novel, so he can go so many other places. And there is like a really cool, intriguing plotline throughout the entirety of Black Sad. Um, and they kind of, I like the humor of it as well. I think you'd enjoy the game a lot. It's a detective, much like The Wolf Among Us, but it's got like a nice bit of humor tied to the game.
I played the first few hours of it, and like you said, it was really rough when it launched because of The Wolf Among Us. Like that kind of comparison point was why I jumped in, but it was rough at launch. But I did end up, whenever you suggested the PS5 physical, re-release, I did pick that up. So I do want to jump back into it at some point, certainly.
Yep. And guess what? It's a nice, short but sweet game, so it shouldn't take you long.
My first one on the list in that camp, I'll go Resident Evil 3 from 98. The this just got re-released on the PlayStation Plus premium catalog, and I think you can buy it a la carte as well, if I'm not mistaken. So you can play it on the PS5. I don't know if it's available on PS4. I mean, it should be, but anyway, it's really good. And it's very, very short for a Resident Evil game. I mean, all Resident Evil games could kind of fit on this list, or most of them, other than like Resident Evil 6. But even in the pantheon of short Resident Evil games, this one's shorter than most of those. You can roll credits on this in 3 hours. It's very, very short, but offers up a good degree of replayability, different choices you can make, and guns you can go and find. And it's just a really, really fun Resident Evil game. Action packed, balls to the wall, Nemesis chasing you around Raccoon City, and playing as Jill. And yeah, I adore Resident Evil 3, the original from, or did I say 1998, 1999? Because RE2 was 98, and then RE3 was 99. So that's kind of the thing, is the year release in between, where it pretty much just feels like RE2
Yep.
to, it's RE 2.5 or whatever you want to call it, but that's why it's 3 hours. That's why it's short. That's why you can burn through it, but it's also a really fun game.
Yeah, the turnover rate for entries back in the day, because obviously like GTA pumped them out
Mm.
quick. Boy, oh boy, we were spoiled.
Yeah, I mean, that was uh, definitely an unhealthy era of game development, but at the same time, it's Capcom's kind of on that same consistent, but they have multiple teams working on different Resident Evil games. But I mean, they were damn near annualized for a stretch there. What was that, 2017, 19, and then 21? Yeah, I mean, they damn near annualized for quite a while.
Yep. So my next one is going to be Terminator Resistance. Um,
Nice.
I know that people, because I think you preferred RoboCop. A lot of people preferred that first RoboCop game. Maybe not that one that recently released. That's heard that's a little bit rough, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Um,
I never played Terminator though, so I can't really compare.
so for me, like I never watched any of the RoboCop films, so Terminator was that kind of thing that probably a lot of people felt with RoboCop when they were playing it if they watched the films back in the day. It's just like, man, this is a Terminator game I've always wanted. Just a standard FPS game. Just give me that. Just keep it simple. Like it doesn't need to like blow the doors off at all. Just nice and simple, and that's what this delivers on. Like it feels almost like an old school Call of Duty campaign, but it's dropping you into these like environments that are like zoned off mini small little open world things. Like they're not huge, but you're scavenging for stuff, you're crafting stuff, there's upgrades and stuff like that. I think there's even like a skill tree, if I'm remembering correctly. Very like basic skill tree. But it just all of them little like things that scratch the right itches were all there. And again, it's just doesn't overstay its welcome. Which is what I did feel that RoboCop kind of was a little bit longer, and I didn't like that as much. I kind of liked how short Terminator was. It was like cool, yeah, because it's very simple. It's not something that's like that's not a 10 out of 10 game. Like you said, it's like a 7 out of 10, but it's a good, solid 7 out of 10 that just serves its role perfectly.
Yeah, I definitely need to get around to it. I loved RoboCop and the first one. The unfinished business, a little bit buggy, but I really, really enjoyed that first base game. So I need to check out that Terminator game without a doubt.
Yep.
I will shout out Little Nightmares, either one or two, both incredibly short, sweet, to the point, great puzzle solving, great atmosphere. Actually, like some kind of unsettling themes throughout, especially Little Nightmares 1, and then Little Nightmares 2 opens it up and you get more involved with your combat and, just different systems at play there that aren't really introduced in the first game. It gets a little bit more ambitious with Little Nightmares 2, and a little bit bummed about Little Nightmares 3, being developed by Supermassive opposed to Tarsier, and I I'm not expecting a juggernaut in terms of critical reception or in terms of but I'm hoping it's at least decent because the first two games I think are immaculate, and I just kind of want to be back in that world.
Do they not own the IP themselves?
No, so I think Bandai Namco owns the IP, and then Tarsier is now working with Embracer for that Reanimal game.
Mm. That's always unfortunate when you see that happen. When they make
Yeah,
their own stamp on something, because it's kind of what they're known for, is them games. So for them to not own the IP, that's kind of unfortunate.
and they sell really well, and
Mm.
so that's super unfortunate. But hopefully now they're in a, I guess, better business working relationship with Embracer, I would hope. And hopefully that Reanimal game does really well for them.
Yeah. And then my next one is Tales of Iron. I don't. Did you play? I think it was Jeffrey said he played it. I don't think you played this, right?
I haven't.
I tried to get into Tales of Iron 2. I think it came out earlier this year, and it didn't scratch the same itch that this one did. I don't know what this. It's just it's so much more simpler. It feels like it kept things nice and simple. It kind of reminded me of a more laid back like Salt and Sanctuary, where you're just going through just the normal Metroidvania thing. It gives me the gear that I need for them types of games to be enjoyable for me. Because if it's just ability based, it doesn't really do anything. But when I'm finding armor sets, different weapons and stuff like that, that's what kind of pulls me through these games. And the combat for what it was crunchy in the first game, which I didn't feel as much when I was playing that second game. I do need to get a little bit further in that second game, but this was just yeah. I don't know if it's one of them things where maybe it's just right place, right time kind of thing, and maybe like there's a bit of I don't know if you'd say the right word nostalgia and stuff like, that, but something like where it lands perfectly, all the things fit into place, and you kind of just don't remember any of its shortcomings. So maybe if I was to go back to it, I'd be like, oh, that is kind of similar to the second game. But from what I remember of it, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Where I believe wholeheartedly in that right place, right time, wrong
Mm.
place, wrong time as well. We talked about that with Chronos and Hell is Us, where they come out right next to Hollow Knight, and it's like, oh boy, wrong place, wrong time for these games, unfortunately. But um Yeah, right place, right time is something I wholeheartedly believe in terms of like personal enjoyment. Because if you're having a bad day, everything tastes worse. The games that you're playing feel worse to play. The show you're watching, the argument with your wife sticks around in your head longer. The when you stub your toe, it hurts worse. Like there's no doubt that anytime you have real world shit negatively impacting you, it's going to impact all of your escapist hobbies and entertainment enjoyment as well. So I think that there's no doubt about that. And I've seen it happen to me multiple times with like Watch Dogs 2, for instance.
Mm.
I jumped into Watch Dogs 2. I started playing it. I was in love with it. And then I put it down for a period of time and I go back to it and I'm like, oh, this isn't that good. It's like, what the fuck happened? My bipolar ass flipped on it so quickly. And then I put it down and then I get back into it and it's like, oh, this is really great again. It's weird. We're a weird species, but that's a great shout. Um,
I mean, I had the same reaction with Watch Dogs 2. It only took me 2 attempts, so the first time I booted up, I was like, it was the opposite. It was like, I don't know about this. And then when I went back to it, I was like, okay, this is good. I I tried Legion. I don't know if you tried Legion, and I don't think I'm ever gonna click with that. It was just like
Same.
I can kind of see the writing on the wall for this. Like, cool for being creative, but boy, did the product seem to suffer because of that
Hmm.
creativeness.
Yeah.
Maybe keep it simple, Ubisoft. That's what you're good at.
Man, I think if they could get a good damn writer involved on a Watch Dogs game, that thing could be because the world of Watch Dogs 2 is immaculate, man. It's unbelievable. It's gorgeous. It's a recreation of
San
San Francisco.
Francisco. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But it's like the writing in that game is very, very subpar. And Watch Dogs 1 has better writing, but it's still, when you're comparing it, once again, that's the thief of joy, comparing it against your Grand Theft Autos and comparing it against your other open world crime, related stories. But um, speaking of crime, we should lock the doors behind us as we enter the Arkham Asylum for my third and final selection on the short games bucket here. This is only like, I mean, you could burn through Arkham Asylum in 6, 7 hours if you really wanted to. Like you can stretch it out beyond 10, certainly,
Yeah.
but you could burn through this incredibly, incredibly quickly. And it's one of the most, I mean, it's one of the most influential games of the last, what, 20 years, I would say, with that flow-based combat. We literally, I mean, every third person melee action adventure game took from this format, from the combat, until we got to the Souls era where it's like everything is now trying to have some Souls DNA in it. But before that, it was like all flow based. Every damn third person game that was coming out had some sort of flow based, intuitive kind of counter oriented system for the hand to hand combat and for the melee combat. And it's such a damn good format. Like it's such I understand why it was aped and pulled from and imitated and duplicated 100 times over because it just felt so good. It feels so good to counter shit as Batman. And yeah, it's the world of Arkham Asylum is, in my opinion, one of like the all-time great. And of course, you're pulling from something that's already established, and it's not like you're building something from scratch, but in a lot of ways you kind of are because you're placing it in a new medium and having to figure out how to utilize and best, structure this iconic area, this iconic location, but in a video game. Like that's a totally different task. So yeah, Arkham Asylum got to be on that list for me.
I gotta say as well, it gets praise for this, but not enough for my liking. The fact that they went with the lot more darker route as well.
Hmm.
Like they
Yeah.
could have easily gone for, say, um, like the goofier Batman films before it, but obviously it seemed heavily pulling from like the Dark Knight trilogy, and yeah, it also felt as well. It was a statement that superhero games can be mature in its themes because like Spider-Man kind of struggles to push a little bit more of a mature thing. It's very tame a lot of the time in its storytelling. Whereas Batman pulling off like that, he had like horror sections in Arkham Asylum. The whole tone of all three games is dark and brooding, and like it was just a cool difference of being like, oh yeah, cool, we can have more mature shit in a superhero thing.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's sections of like I think of the, not to spoil anything, but there's a section when you're like just roaming the halls and it's like a straight up jump scare like out of a horror game
Mm.
in the asylum. It's like, oh my God. And then yeah, there's some real dark stuff in Arkham Asylum that's not even really featured so much in City or in Night, like to that degree. So yeah, I certainly Arkham Asylum feels like a small scale Batman horror game at times, which is, perfect for this time of year for sure.
Yep, creeping up on October,
Yeah.
absolutely. Right, so there we had it. Six short but sweet titles. Definitely, obviously, if you have any of yourself, well, I had more tied down just in case there was crossover. So there's definitely plenty more that people
I
can
did
pick
too,
from.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's it's unfortunate that games seem to be getting longer and shunned if they're shorter, because like you said, you'll reach like you said 4 hours into Hell is Us. That's for some games that's like three quarters of the way through back in the day, almost done with, and it's just like that's kind of the perfect length, because
For
it's like
some
the
games, it's half.
yeah, and like it's crazy because you think back of like the other mediums out there, and it's you don't see films getting longer. Like when films breach past like 3 hours, it feels like a slog. Like I love Lord of the Rings, for instance, but it can sometimes feel if you want to rewatch it, it's like man, like the full cut thing of it, where it's like 3 hours for each of them. Like Jesus Christ, that's a long time to just be sitting there doing that and doing nothing else. So like, and then sitting there for like 60, 80, 100 hours. That's what like Shadows was about 60, I think, hours. And then the expansions coming out, and we'll have to go back into that. And all them new Assassin's Creed, they're all north of 100. It's crazy.
Yeah. I've really been thinking about a lot of that stuff differently, man. I just, there's only so much time that we have on this damn planet. It's like, what the fuck? It's, it would be glorious to have a return to 7, 8 hour games. But, you see 7, 8 hour games come out and people start bitching. It's like Mafia of the Old Country. People were bitching about the length of that.
Mm.
And it's like, dude, it's $50. And hey, everybody can have their opinion, and I can have mine. I think that I'll pay $50 every day, all day, twice on Sunday for a good 8 hour game, opposed to paying fucking $70 for a 100 hour game where five of the 100 hours are actually compelling. It's like, man, fuck that.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing to see because they could have easily asked full price for it, with it being under the umbrella of what Take Two, right?
Yeah,
Mafia. They could have easily been like, yeah, well, it's a high quality game. We want full price for it. Because what kind of baffled me as well is that it launched for 50, and I saw people going, yeah, but if it was 40, I'd buy it. And it's just like, in that alternate reality and it launched for 40, I can guarantee you'd have the same mindset. You'd be like, well, if it was 30, I'd buy it. Like,
30.
you'd constantly move that goalpost, like, until it's sub 20. And then I think everybody's basically universally like, if anything's sub 20, you can't really bitch about it as price.
You get to a point, man, where it's like you I do kind of understand these publishers and understand their perspective of like, we don't know what y'all want. Like, y'all say you want one thing and then we give you one thing and then you don't support it. And it's like, yeah, we're a fickle bunch. We're a fickle bunch of fuckers. Or us game fans, just fans of anything, I think are a fickle bunch. It's hard to please. It's hard to please in the entertainment sector in general. Just no matter what you're doing in the entertainment sector, like it's hard to know how the tides are changing. It's hard to know which way the wind's blowing. And sometimes you put out something that is phenomenal and it just bombs. And it's like,
Banishes.
I what's that?
Banishes is like a good example
Banishers?
of something where it's like people have been screaming that they want something like that, and then they get it. No one touches it. Dead Space remake. Nobody really
Yep.
touches it. And you just give the publishers an extremely convenient excuse to be like, well, you don't want it, you didn't buy it. Callisto as well, kind of. I think it sold a little bit better than is presented, but
Yep.
I think that budget was so overblown that they needed to sell a hell of a lot more copies than what they sold still. And it's just that thing of like, yeah, people didn't buy it, so there you go. We don't get that.
Well, and it's like, we could go on about this all day, but it's the thing with Dead Space is like, I get it. You charge $70 for that. The game came out in 2009, dude, and you're charging $70 for a game. Like it's not enough of a remake for $70. But there are the situations like Mafia: The Old Country where it's just like $50, a brand new game, a brand new AAA game in 2025 that is $50. Like just that alone, it wouldn't matter if it was 2 hours. The fact that there's any AAA company releasing anything for $50 in the year 2025, it's like, why are we not celebrating this? But then yeah, it's I don't know. And I'm just bitching nonstop is what I'm noticing. So I'm gonna shut up. I got a lot on my
It gives
damn.
plenty of talking points. You know,
Yeah,
people can pick it apart in the comments. Maybe we're wrong, and they're right if they think otherwise.
that's
Um,
that's that's how it seems.
but yeah, obviously there's that. Um, the I think I wrote it in the description, but the idea is to get something like this out once a week moving forward. Um, as of right now, I got 4 weeks worth now tagged up, ready to go. So that's going to be the idea. I think they're going out every Tuesday because that's where it landed when one of the series ended, and it just felt good to just slot it in there. So every Tuesday at 1 p.m. will be something of this ilk, either solo or duo collaborative.
Are you
Um,
keeping the channel? Are you doing the gameplay and the
because
like
it's all
your
tied up here for the time being, and then it will probably slowly transition when that starts to dry up. Because I'm not recording full series anymore. I'm going in and just grabbing like 40 minutes of gameplay from it, each thing that I'm playing, and hopefully pivot that into like 2 a week. But that's tied up to like Christmas. The gameplay.
Yeah, I listen, I definitely I'm not even gonna give advice. I'm not the person to give advice on any of this shit. You will be much better taking your own advice than listening to my horse shit. So I'm just happy to be on board, man. I'm pumped.
Yeah, it's obviously great to have you here. Channel will be linked in the description as it always is. So if you want to go over and check out Brandon's stuff, definitely give that a look. And if you want to join the Discord, pop a comment down below because they're cheeky little bastards. Discord. I don't know if you've seen it. You have to pay um like a subscription to now to get the permanent link thing, and it's just like, come on, man.
That's
Everything's got to be
crazy.
everything's got to be paid for nowadays.
How
You
much is it?
I think Nitro, because I run the server, I have to have Nitro so that we can have the clear lists as long as they are. And that's about £7 a month. But I think if I was to get,
It's an
if
additional on top of that?
no, it's just a flat set. So
No, but is
seven.
it additional to get a permanent link on
Oh
top of
yeah,
that?
yeah, that's what I mean.
That's
Like that's level
crazy.
one of the whatever thing is Nitro thing, and then you need to get it to like level two, which is like four more boosts, which equates to probably about $20 a month.
Oh my
And it's just
God.
like, yeah, I mean, of course,
For
if
fucking
you get big
Discord?
enough, it's not
Yeah,
obviously
okay,
that
true.
big of a thing. But then there's 21 of us.
True, true. Okay, yeah, I guess that's true. Whenever you, like, if it was something, okay, okay, never mind. I'm kind of coming around. I can
If it's
see the.
thousands, like I get why they have to have that in there. There's a lot of data. Even the server we have now, like I'm sure if you use the look, scroll through everything, thousands and thousands and thousands of comments in there of conversations and stuff. So like I get it, you need to store that. That's expensive, but you did offer it base, and now you've pulled it out. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about like all the different Patreons out there where you support them and then you get a link to their Discord that's privated, and it's like shit like that because I know that Last Stand does that and MinMax does that as well, I
Mm.
think. So if they're making thousands of dollars by people wanting to jump into their Discord, their private Discord, it's like, what the fuck's $20? Sure, yeah, I get that, but it's yeah, that's it's the baiting and the switching is that's the thing I never, with launching the Patreon and the YouTube memberships and all that shit and the exclusive content. That was like my only real like I'm gonna put my foot down on this is that I'm not there's never going to be a piece of content that's exclusive to Patreon and the YouTube members that wouldn't be available for free. Like everything, I would have never released a top 10. Well, I guess I can't say that now because I'm fucking about to record a damn podcast about The Sopranos. But before this recording of The Sopranos, I've never recorded anything that wasn't directly about video games. You know what I mean? If I'm being honest, I don't have shit to fucking talk about this week. So I'm gonna fucking talk about The Sopranos. But um, and I guess I probably could go through the news. I probably should go through the news and then take a look at that shit. But yeah, I don't know.
Has
But
it,
yeah,
anything even
I get
happened?
a lot of shit's happened. I
It's
just scrolled
been
through
it's been
today.
buried, man, under unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah,
I'll leave
man,
it at that.
fucking heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. But weird times, just awful, awful times for a lot of different things, and just. But yeah, I was scrolling through, like you said, amidst all the chaos, and I saw like Neil Druckmann just went out there and did an interview talking about what Intergalactic is going to play like, and there was something Dan Houser's going to be doing an interview
Oh yeah, I saw
coming up
that.
soon,
Yeah.
and there was a bunch of stuff that was breaking, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna watch The Sopranos. I,
Get
it's
a
it's
nice get a nice blanket, eat some cookies, and just watch The Sopranos. Watch someone
dude,
else
it
have a
it
breakdown.
yeah, I sit right. So it's a little bit relieving to watch someone else have a fucking breakdown for once. But yeah, I don't know. It's always a blast shooting the shit with you, man, and turning a short games discussion into a 3 hour long fucking. How long has this been?
42 minutes. Something bad.
That's not too bad. Well, dude, I appreciate you for having me, my friend, and I'll plug it. I'll plug the. Ooh, there goes the brain. What was the one we did? The one that's available now publicly? That was a topic about the one that's on your channel? Yeah, I don't fucking know. Who knows?
This is the thing. Um, it's like when you had the stuff stacked up, and then it dropped, and then obviously I jump into the comments and stuff, and it's just like, I don't remember. I have to rewatch the video because it's like I don't remember what the hell we talked about. It was that's your channel, not my channel.
Console games on wrong consoles.
There we go.
Games
There
on
we
wrong
go.
consoles. Yep.
Games that perhaps would have done better on rival platforms.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll make sure to plug that at the top of the pod tomorrow, and I'll obviously have your channel linked in the description and all that, and hopefully get some eyeballs over there. But dude, I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying at this point. I'm just taking up air on your channel. I haven't recorded anything this week, and
Oh,
so I
have you
guess
not?
I'm just not a single thing. I've just been like total vegetative fucking state watching The Sopranos. I have been going to work, coming home, and watching The Sopranos and doing nothing but it. And I tell you what, man, here we go. Dude, I've been sleeping like a fucking baby.
Oh, for
Like
real?
every night sleeping like a fucking baby. And I don't know, I've been having these thoughts where it's like maybe maybe at a certain point you just like maybe it is just okay to fucking take the foot off the damn gas and just like let the car fucking keep running and see if it just goes onto some correct course, or maybe it hits a tree. But I think taking the foot off the gas, it allows the fuel to be a little bit sustainable every now and then. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. Thank you for tuning in. Thank
Uh,
you for tuning into my TED Talk.
yep. Thank you for tuning in, as Brandon so perfectly put. And yep, every Tuesday is the goal. So I will see you next Tuesday.
Goodbye.
See you later.